up, you guys? Good evening to everybody. Welcome to SPNation, brought to you by Sports Plus. This is Javi Palanya. I'm going to be your host for tonight. And of course, I am joined by two of our analysts. Of course, Coach Hammer, Martin Antonio, and Dino Lee. It's sure going to be an exciting episod for us all. The enigmatic Coach Hammer, Martin Antonio, and also the very
eclectic,
hyper-temperamental Dino Lee.
Grabe naman yun, enigmatic.
Sinabihan ko si Coach Martin na naka-itim ngayon.
No, para mukha lang ako Muslim.
Kamusta naman kayo so far? I mean, how's your Friday so far?
Good Fridays. We can't complain.
I'm just glad to be doing this again kasi medyo tinamaan ako ng parang food poisoning the other day.
Welcome back. Alright, let's check out our topics for today's episode of SPNation. By the way, guys, don't forget to follow Sports Plus on our social media accounts, especially on Facebook and on TikTok. Tingnan natin ang ating topics lined up for us today. We have first, will the rise of independent teams make the PBA interesting again? Second, more incentives for Philippine sports. Is that a good thing? And of course, the last, syempre, the PBL semis are approaching. We will be discussing which of the teams will advance and which of the teams will not. Alright, let's get this show on the road, beginning with, will the rise of independent teams in the PBA be a good thing for the PBA? Will it make it interesting again? Of course, Rain or Shine is off to a 3-0 start, while Converge also off to a good start. They were able to beat a couple of teams better than the season that they had last year, wherein they only had 3 wins in total in the 2 conference that we had last year sa PBA. Alright, we'll begin with Coach Hammer. Coach Hammer, what do you think?
Well, the PBA haven't, sinasabi na natin sa social media that it lost its legs. Okay, sige, sa social media ganun. But again, conversation-wise, it's still the most watched league in the Philippines. Well, the wins of Converge, Rain or Shine, every season is competitive naman. Laging ganun yan. Ebbs and flows. Ako, syempre maganda pag nananalo yung mga ibang teams kasi additional storylines yan. But again, lagi akong papabor sa games should be played and kailangan yung mga teams na hindi ako naniniwala sa parity kasi So, yung mga teams na gusto manalo, kailangan magpalakas talaga.
Teka, pero bakit di ka naniniwala sa parity? Bakit?
I've never, life is all about scoreboards. I've never believed in parity. If you want to get some, you have to do some. And those guys who succeed, they really put in the work. They find ways to improve their teams. And parity is egalitarian yan eh. Parang sinabi mo, kailangan lahat equal. Di mangyayari yan. Siyempre, pag nananalo ka, kailangan bakbakin mo pa ng bakbakin. Yung mga gusto lang ng equal, yung mga nasa baba. Akin yun lang.
Alright, ikaw Dino, what do you have to say about that?
Sa akin, hindi mo naman mapaforce talaga yung sobrang equal. Just like in the NBA, there's big market teams, there's small market teams. But
so do you agree with Coach Hammer that parity is not real?
You can, pwede mong i-assam yung optimal level of parity, which the PBA doesn't have. Diba? I will quote Friedrich Nietzsche, a German philosopher.
Alright.
Ang sabi niya, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed.
Exactly.
Sa akin, hanggang pagpatuloy natin yung pag-defend dito sa setup ng PBA teams, good luck sa pagkuha ng interest ng mga fans. And kita naman dun sa, if you watch the games live dun sa Ninoy Aquino Stadium, sa Ninoy, sa Smart Araneta Coliseum, di ba napupuno yung arena eh. Di ba? And I think that's their intent, di ba? That's why they implemented the 4-point line. That's why iniba nila yung format ng tournament ngayon. It's because to gain traction or interest from the fans. Pero based on results so far, parang hindi.
Ano ba yung, ang question kasi is, ano ba yung nagtatranslate para sa fans? Kasi una, kung yung arena lang yung titignan natin, okay, sige, sa mga kapwa nating Pilipino, ang hirap ng traffic, number 1. Tama? Mahirap traffic? Mahirap parking? Sagutin mo ngayon!
Mahirap pa parking.
Mahirap traffic.
Pero bakit puno yung Gilas Games?
Ito nga. Kasi nga, yun, it's not just basketball eh. Yun yung patriotism. But again, it's a business. PBA is trying to make everything accessible. Yung mga nasa probinsya pag pumupunta dito na basketball fans, no tayo PBA. kasi galing probinsya. Ngayon, with streaming, with the multiple channels that offer the PBA, mas accessible sa mga fans na nanonood lang sa bahay, ayaw bumay. Siyempre, hindi mo naman mako-quantify yun. But, sinasabi nga na most viewed league pa rin ang PBA as per their census.
But Dina, you said earlier that the PBA has, you said something about illusion. So you're saying that the PBA has an illusion about what's happening right now?
Parang for ako, ang pananaw ko dyan is they're trying to defend that they're still doing well. Kasi sa akin, they're still kumbaga sa akin, the most talented players and kumbaga the best teams are still, the funds pa lang, funding pa lang ng companies, it's in the PBA.
Yeah.
Diba?
Definitely.
Kaya kung ako manonood ng basketball, ano pa ang papanoorin mo? Diba? I would choose the PBA still. But, sinasabi ni Coach Martin, hindi pupunta yung mga fans sa mga games.
Yun eh.
Pero bakit yung Gilas? Pag naglaro yung Gilas, you have a great product that people want to watch.
Exactly.
So, basically sa akin, going back to the PBA, do they have a great product right now? Based on result, hindi willing magdumayo yung mga tao para manood ng games.
But do you think that the low number of attendance is because kasi marami ng avenues or marami ng channels for the fans to watch on their TV sets, online, through their phones?
Ako hindi eh. Ito lang, bigay lang ako example. Di ba? Pag sa restaurants, hindi yan sa laki ng pondo, hindi yan sa ganda ng menu mo, hindi yan ganda sa interior ng restaurant mo. Walang kakain dyan kung hindi masarap or hindi pasok yung panlasa.
Ito yung tanong, para saan ang PBA?
Para sa niya ba?
Para saan ang PBA?
For the fans.
Hindi, coach, para saan ang PBA?
To quote one of the greatest philosophers, I'm not the businessman, I'm the businessman. It's for marketing of the products. Basic. So who's spending in the PBA? It's the companies. Companies that have big money backers can bomba. Bumomba yan sa tali.
But going back to the topic, it's interest. So, business is business.
Business is business.
Kung gusto nila gawin yun, wala tayong magagawa doon,
Exactly.
di ba? That's their call. But if they want to get the interest, now they have to weigh the decision that they're making. Di ba? Sa akin, ganun lang. Kung gusto niyo focus kayo sa ginagawa niyo, you're trying to defend it, you think it's working, then continue on. But don't expect the fans will be flocking inside the arenas.
But despite the performances of teams like Rain or Shine, like Converge, you still think that it's not yet a place where the PBA could say that umaangat na ulit sila?
Hirap eh.
Kasi titignan mo yung fanaticism. Fans, okay? Do you still see the fans na tulad nung 90s, nung glory days nila na talagang aantayin sila Jowo? Okay, babalikan ko yung kwento. Aantayin nila si Jowo na magpapirma ng jersey. Aantayin nila si Cap Alvin Patrimonio para magpa-picture. Eh, since all these stars are accessible on social media, what's the magic in it? Ako, akin yun lang. As a fan, dati parang pag nakita mo si Jowo, uy, dito ko lang makikita si Jowo. Eh ngayon, yung mga athletes natin, nagpalit lang ng medyas, nakapost na sa social media. So, mas nakikita na nila. Akin lang, yun yung mystique na one of the things that nawala. Naging parang kalaro na lang rin nila yung mga pro athletes.
Ako, like, di ba they always, yung itong coming into this season, they were saying that gusto natin mag-innovate, di ba? Diba? Parang it's good for us, di ba? Ayaw natin maging traditional and everything. Pero sa akin, before you innovate, you fix the foundations first. And I think that's what's missing for the PBA is that they're already...
What are these foundations?
Sa akin, parang basketball lang, di ba? Ba't ka mag-fade away kung wala pang fundamentals, di ba? Why are you shooting the 4-point shot if mid-range ka, hindi mo ma-shoot, di ba? So parang sa akin, the fundamentals basically is the setup of the teams, di ba? They may give valid reasons kung bakit di nila matanggal yung sister teams, pero...
Di ba? Alam mo, babalikan
sa akin, the only thing, kung, di ba, ang dami namang, for sure, nababasa niyo yung mga fans on social media kung ano yung mga sinasabi nila that changes that are needed to be made. Sa akin, the only way that happens, kung mawala yung sister teams, wala yung mga alleged farm teams, parang hindi nga alleged, di ba? Because of Danny Ai, di ba? Nag-comment na siya doon. Sa akin, the only way that changes is if we change leadership of the PBA. Basically, yun yung sa akin.
Ako, kahit sinong ilagay mo dyan, kahit sinong ilagay mo, pag ganyan yung system, kaya tanggalin niyo yung salary cap.
Salary cap.
Salary cap, parang baseball.
Tanggalin niyo na.
Oh,
completely.
Di ba
Wala na.
So wala nang drafting?
may drafting pa din. Pero whoever, it's a business, bro. Ako, kapitalista kasi ako eh. Hindi ako naniniwala sa parity. Pag may pera ka, bilhin mo yung best
May
talent.
kapitalista tayo, may komunista
Hindi,
tayo.
ako talaga. You want, Gilas, babalik ako yung argument mo. Gilas, yun, nandun lahat ng pinakamagagaling na player. Panunuorin mo talaga yan. Handpick yan. Tapos kalaban mo, Fadi, El Khatib, Hamid Haddadi. Natural, mapupuno yan, home court. Nung World Cup, napupuno ba lahat ng games?
Hindi rin naman.
Hindi. Pinanood ko yung Serbia-Lithuania game eh. Libre yung ticket. Binigay lang sa akin ng isang liaison officer. Nandun kami sa upper box pero hindi napupuno. And it's international. This is best of the best. Nung nakita yung Bogdan na play, tinawag nila eh. Exit screens na rin. Sabi ko, uy, okay ito. Ninote down ko. But again,
So sobrang mahal naman ng presyo ng World Cup.
Okay.
Paano papanood?
Yun nga yung sinasabi ko sa'yo. Sabi mo, kailangan pag magaling yung player, panonoorin. Gilas panonoorin. Pero again...
Hindi, pero what's the connection of the other teams, di ba? Outside of the US and the
Exactly.
NBA players that are playing.
Exactly. So, ganun din yan. Parang pagka naglaro yung Pilipinas, lahat ng Pilipino, kahit yung mga hindi fans, kahit yung mga gusto lang makita sa social media, bro, I'm here, we're watching Gilas, yeah! Kasama yun. So, it's the clout. But, again, it's a business. Ako lagi ako sa business. Tanggalin yung, parang Major League Baseball sa States, nagkakaroon sila ng problema. Tanggalin yung, para mawala yung mga farm teams. O kung may budget kayo, bumomba kayo ng bumomba, kumuha kayo ng talent. Parity kung parity, pagalingan. Ganun. Open market, it's open season. Get the best
Pagalingan,
talent.
pero parang walang intent magpagaling.
Wala, ayun nga. So, alam mo, professional athletes, ang mga professional
Yun sa akin
athletes, ang mga professional athletes, kaya yung mga ibang film pumupunta dito kasi it's greener pastures and they have the opportunity to continue on playing and improve their talents.
So, Coach Hammer, Dino, you are both in agreement that the rise of the independent teams, despite what Rain or Shine has been performing, they're 3-0 right now, Converge has 2 wins so far. Despite that, it doesn't make the PBA a little, just a little bit more interesting.
Nakakatulong. Yung na-shoot lang ni Hobson yung 4-point
Ako
shot
yung
eh.
rain or shine, I think they're legit. Converge, I have wait and see kasi that's too early pa to say na ano they're for real eh.
Is it the Yang Giao effect?
Saan? Sa rain
Yung
or shine?
rain or shine na kaya sila naging legit.
Well, he was able to lead Red Bull before, he was able to lead
Ako
Rain or
they've
Shine
been legit
before.
ever since. They're the last independent team to have won a PBA championship and that was 8 years ago. So sa akin, yung Phoenix saka Converge, I'll hold my judgments. Pero it's good that, you know, pero nag-competitive naman talaga yung Rain or Shine before. Even
since.
when Alaska was there. They were, those were the 2 independent teams that were very competitive and could keep up. Hindi lang, this is nothing new. Rain or Shine,
No.
whatever they're doing now is nothing
Ay
new.
nga, tanggalin nyo na yung salary cap.
But what are your thoughts on, guys, what are your thoughts?
Wala, kahit nga may salary ka, for sure, may
Ayun
mga
nga,
under yun eh.
Parang wala na tayong mga mga
Diba?
hypothetical, under the table, over the salary cap. Kung may pera kayo, bilhin nyo na lang yung talent. Ganon din naman yan eh. And it's a free market. Yung mga artists nga eh.
Coach,
diba?
nabibili nga yung mga talents kahit di tinanggalin yung salary
Ayun
cap.
nga,
Tingnan pa lang yung mga trades eh.
Kaya nga illegalize na oso. So ngayon, wala na magre-reklamo. Pag ganyan, mas malaki yung binibigay. Ano tayo, ililimit natin yung earning potential ng bata. Anyway.
Okay, just before we end this conversation about this topic.
I want all the players to get all the money that they can negotiate for.
Just some last thoughts. Okay, we already talked about Rain or Shine, we talked about Converge. What can you say about Northport after that beatdown against Converge where Arvin Tolentino was able to score 51 points? Do you think that because of that remark that Danny I put out, do you think that this is finally the time that they're gonna get into the limelight and be competitive?
They're still not winning a championship. I mean, Arvin Tolentino proved that he's one of the top players in the PBA.
Yes, man.
But it doesn't make a difference in terms of how Northport will perform in the future conferences and the current conference.
We shall see. Once they sign David Lefon.
So
Ako,
So you're saying they're gonna win a championship?
Hindi ko sinasabi manalo sa championship, pero magiging competitive. Kasi hindi mo naman alam sino mananalo ng championship unless na talagang scripted yan. Kaya ako tanggalin na yung salary
Ako
cap.
hindi contender. They're winning. They won against Converge, but they're
Talk and text kasi ako. So I don't care. I don't care. Kapi ako sa team ko.
Alright mga ka-SPNation, so make sure that you join in on the conversation, comment dun sa ating live feed. So, mamaya ipapakita natin yan on our screens to make sure that we check out your comments later on. We'll move on to our next topic now. Will more incentives for Philippine sports be a good thing? Alright, we already talked about
Una
this,
ka.
Coach Hammer, before the start of the show. Dino, I want to hear your thoughts about it. I'm sure you have a lot to say about this. I know that you've already been very vocal about this issue for so long, being in the industry and taking on new roles. I'm sure that there's a lot to say coming from you.
I think dito when we talk about incentives, 'di ba kasama rin hindi lang naman yung cash prizes when you win medals. I think when we talk about this, yung funding din na binibigay sa programs. In my personal take on this is yes, to a certain extent, you need funding. Kasi hindi naman tatakbo ang sports kung walang funding, diba? You have to pay the coaches, the referees, the athletes, diba? For it to be sustainable at a certain point. Pero it's not the end-all be-all in creating a strong or malakas na Philippine sports program. Kasi kung funding lang ang solusyon, tingnan natin yung basketball, volleyball. Laki na hindi questionable may funding, 'di ba? We have a lot of funding for basketball and volleyball in our country. Kaya nga 'di ba nire-request na nga ng mga fans, ilipat na lang yung funding sa papunta sa gymnastics, weightlifting, boxing and the less popular sports that are winning. Pero kung funding ang solusyon, dapat hindi tayo nanalo sa weightlifting, boxing and gymnastics. Now, ang take ko dyan, just like any other business, hindi mo pwedeng tignan lang yung laki ng pondo ng negosyo. Di ba may mga negosyo na nagfi-fail kahit ang laki ng pondo. So for me, titingnan mo sa diskarte, sa kaalaman at sa lalim ng experience. That's where I would say yung plano or program na nasa sports. I think that's bigger. That we have to put more parang weight on that rather than funding.
So you're saying we need more capable leaders,
Exactly.
more people in position that will be able to steer us in better direction.
Exactly. Kasi kahit anong dami yung pondo, kung yung maghahawak ng pondo at magde-decide kung saan gagastusin yung pondo ay hindi alam yung ginagawa or walang concrete plan na long term, baka masayang lang yung pondo. So ako, I'd rather have a good program rather than a lot of funding without a good program.
Alright, because guys, this is the lowdown, alright? This is what happened. Coach Yenga was able to win a case that approved the government to for PAGCOR and PCSO to transfer 25 billion approximately to the PSC. And that's gonna be the kind of money that the PSC will potentially have over the next few years. Kaya lang, of course, Coach Yenga wants to make sure that this is not just a paper decision. He wants to make sure that this actually happens. So 25 billion, Coach Hammer, that is the potential funds that the PSC will actually have over the next few years.
So that's 25 billion. That's a lot of zeros. Again, I love having a lot of zeros in the discussion. Number one,
bilang ikaw kapitalista ka.
No, it's not. Sometimes it's not the X and O's. It's the gyms and the Joes. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have the athletes, if you don't have the people, the right kind of athletes to spend it with, wala rin yan. Okay, that's number one. Yun yung sinasabi ni Dino. Number two, and more importantly, marami kasi tayong Team P sa national team, Team Pakiusap. Do we have the best athletes? I've seen it. So you're saying that we have 50 athletes in one sport that hasn't medaled in 4 years and we still have 50 athletes? We are doing the wrong thing. We are definitely doing the wrong thing. Ganun yan. Kasi number one, paano ba nagkakaroon ng talent identification? Grassroots. Sino ang nag-handle ng grassroots program? Before, we had DEX, Department of Education, Culture, and Sports. Lahat yan through schools. Palarong pambansa, inter-secondary, intercollegiate, and then doon na nare-recruit, umaakit sa pros. Simpleng-simple. We have 25 billion, funnel it into the education system, educate all these coaches, put money on the athletes that deserve it. Hindi mga pakiusap. Inaanak nung kumpare, marunong maglaro ng ganito, gagawin natin national team. Totoo, hindi? Totoo. Nakita mo na yan eh. Kasi we need to put money on the people who deserve it. And sad to say, ito yung reality ng buhay. until you show your production, nobody will believe in you. Para po sa mga atleta natin, hanggat hindi kayo nagpapakitang gilas, walang tutulong para maabot ninyo yung taas. Ganun lang kasimple yan. If you show up and you show out, no matter what the circumstances, support will come. Dahil everybody loves a winner. Pero pag 4 na taon na hindi ka pa rin nagme-medal, baka hindi ka talaga dapat maging athlete. Ganun lang kasimple yan. Kahit na anong pondo sa'yo, tama si Dino. Kaya ako yung mga incentives, it shouldn't be an incentive. Being a national athlete, it's a privilege, it's not a right. And if you're privileged enough, if you're given an opportunity to train and you have God-given abilities, dapat dun ka pinupondohan. Pero pag pinakiusap ka lang na nandiyan ka, parang mali naman yun. Ibigay na lang natin dun sa mga mas deserving.
I agree. I mean, I've heard a lot of instances na...
You saw a lot of instances.
I saw a lot of instances. I've heard a lot of
diba?
instances where that happened. Pero sa akin, to give our athletes a chance and to prove themselves, I think we have to provide them an environment.
Exactly.
We have to invest the program so that we give them a chance on di ba, giving pride when they compete outside, di ba? Parang sa akin, pag di maganda yung programa mo, parang to begin with, di pa nagsisimula yung competition, talo na yung athlete natin.
Ang tanong ko sa'yo ngayon, ano ang top 2 countries when it comes to sports? Okay. Lahat ng sports, international.
US, China?
US and China. Magkaiba. Kapitalista at saka komunista. Okay, pag capitalist, sino ang nag-i-invest po? Ang nag-i-invest sa mga bata, they have AAU tournaments, they have own coaching, they have personal coaching. The parents invest on the kids. Sa mga socialist countries, athletes are hand-picked from their physical education classes. Pag sinearch nyo po online kung paano pinipili ng mga Chinese ang kanilang national athletes when it comes to weightlifting, when it comes to athletics, they go through a very arduous process of PE. Titignan nila sino yung pinakamabilis tumakbo, titignan nila sino yung pinakamahaba ang broad jump, sino yung pinakamataas tumalon, sino yung pinakamaliksi. Doon pa lang, pinipili na nila mula dun sa bata, tapos pupondohan na ng gobyerno. Ganon yun. So may dalawang
program, but it works.
Program.
Diba?
And it works.
Yung common denominator
exactly.
is you have a solid program with the right
pero kasi
foundation.
nga, ito nga ang nangyayari sa Pilipinas ngayon. Gusto natin i-legislate na popondohan natin yung mga athletes. Tapos gusto rin natin kumabig sa private sector. Yung mga private sector, syempre kung ako yung negosyo, ba't naman ako maglalagay dun sa hindi na nanalo tsaka hindi napapanood araw-araw na sports? Pag ang sports mo, 30 seconds lang nilalaro. Pag yung sports mo, 1 minute sa 4 na taon, ang exposure, again, it's a business.
So this situation is something like with great power comes greater responsibility.
Exactly.
Right?
Ito, I will quote a national athlete. Ito yung sinabi niya sa akin. Kung bakit ako I'm demanding a better program. Ito sabi niya, kaya naman makipag-compete sa mga taga-ibang bansa eh. Ang mahirap ay mismong kapwa natin ayaw tayo manalo.
Pero
gusto tayong pahirapan.
Sinong national athlete?
Wala, hindi natin yun. Pero sinabi dito, kilala to. Pero sa akin talaga, we need to put the right people
Exactly.
to lead Philippine sports, di ba?
Not only to lead, but to play. I mean, you can't put not the level of international competition athletes in roster spots when you have athletes who deserve it. And tigilan na natin yung mga kahahanap, kapipitas, baka may Pilipino Martial na 7'9", makuha natin. Baka pwede rin sa Gilas yun. Tigilan na natin yung mga ganun, yung mga homegrown na kailangan natin tutukan that are really invested in growing the programs. Kasi yung mga batang tutulungan natin, yung mga Heidelin Diaz, yung mga Kaloy Yulo, yan yung mga yan yung magtatanim at magdidilig ng mga programa natin.
So, guys, bottom line, for Coach Hammer, it's all about the grassroots,
identifying
the talent early.
Lagay nyo dun sa education system. Yan 25 billion para tumalino yung mga decision makers natin.
Sa akin, ako kinakabahan ako dun sa funding kasi papansin mo sa basketball, volleyball, the more funding it is, mas maraming umiepal eh.
Oo, syempre.
Maraming politics.
That's the beauty.
And that's why for you, it's important to put capable
at the
people.
helm. Yes.
But again, we're a democratic country, so everybody has to say and everybody needs to be listened to, even the most, ideas.
Alright mga SPNation, make sure to comment about that topic and we'll make sure to read your comments right after our discussion. We move on to our last topic for this episode. This is one of the most exciting topics.
Semifinals!
Very relevant. We move on to our PVL semis picks. Of course, we have Akari going up against PLDT while Signal will face Creamline in the PVL Reinforced Conference semifinals. Dino, I'll start with you. Who do you think will advance to the finals and who do you think will not?
You know, dapat matuto yung PBA sa PBL, dami nanonood.
Okay, hindi lahat
Di
ng
lahat ng
games.
games, di lahat ng games, di lahat ng
Ayun
games.
naman cherry picking na naman tayo. Marami nanonood. Siyempre, pag yung mga glamour teams, marami nanonood. Lagi nyo ilabas yung Ginebra at saka Magnolia na game. Lagi nyo ilabas yung San Miguel at saka Talk and Text na game. Lagi rin puno yan.
Siningit talaga eh.
Hindi, pero kasi lagi nilang sinasabi, walang nanonood ng PBA. Siyempre, pag marquee teams yung naglalaro, puno yan pag linggo. Tapos,
pero iba yung volleyball, yung puno,
pero,
iba.
Pero yun nga talaga. Kasi
sa PBL?
it's really a sight to behold. Pero, wag naman nating dikdikin yung basketball na lagi lang ba yung basketball, pero pag nanalo yung Pilipinas, dapat Pilipinas, puso! Titindi nyo eh.
Alright, so here in the PBL, go Dino.
Go Dino, balik tayo sa PCL. Wawa yung mga basketball player natin eh.
Relax lang, coach. Relax.
So,
Hindi.
yung format
Okay
kasi
lang.
ng this conference, yung reinforced, it's a knockout yung quarterfinals, knockout yung semis, knockout finals. So,
Yeah, it doesn't matter
so
kung
parang
anong seed ka eh.
parang FIBA siya. So, anyone's ball game yan. If it's your good day, diba, you can beat anyone. Now, sa akin, yes, Akari may have a better standing and Signal may have a better standing than their
underdog
counterparts.
picks ha?
I would go.
Akari is unbeaten.
Yes, but that's the single elimination round. Iba yung pressure ng playoffs, di ba?
Okay.
When there's pressure on the playoffs, dadating dyan yung experience and trusting the system and teammates. So, yung Creamline and Signal matchup, I would go Creamline. Only because ang tagal they've been in pressure-packed games every single conference. Di ba? Alam na nila yung sistema. They're the team with the most championships and always, di ba? Parang contender nga sila every conference. Last All-Filipino, they're the champions. 4th seed sila ng preliminary round, but they still won that championship. People were counting them out already. For this conference, they have the best scorer nila si Bernadette Pons, number 10, leading all locals. Michelle Gumabal, number 15. Tapos ako, I'm a big believer na offense wins games but defense wins championships. You have the best, number 5, best blocker, Bea De Leon, best setter, number 1 dito sa conference, Kyle Negrito. As a team, number 3 sila sa digging. As a team, number 2 sila sa receiving. So, I think they have the right amount of balance on offense and defense. So, I would pick them over Signal. Diba? Tapos hindi pa sila naglalaban eh. Parang, mataas standing nila. Pero nagkatapat na ba sila? And their 2 losses were 5 setters. PLDT's 2 losses was also 5 setters. PLDT has... Now, going to the PLDT and Akari matchup, I would pick PLDT. Because they have Kathleen Arado and Majoy Baron.
So you both went with the underdogs.
Stack yung defense.
Or should I say lower seed teams? Lower seed teams.
Lower seed but they're not underdogs. Kasi yung number 1, di pa sila nagkakatapat ng Akari tsaka ng Signal.
Yeah, all of these teams hindi pa nagkakatapat buong conference.
And if there's one thing that we know about sports and the professional level is hindi porket ikaw yung number 1 seed or mas magandang record mo, ikaw na yung mananalo, di ba? So sa akin, I would pick PLDT and Creamline to win, to
go
meet
to the
in
finals.
the finals, yeah.
Well, ako gusto ko yung matchup na yun. Kasi number 1, Akari is a tall team. Number 1 is a tall team. They're challenged when it comes to their receptions. So, mahirap kasi tumupi. And good matchup to for the height ng PLDT. You know that MJ Baron has been playing really well the past few games para sa kanila. And Mika Reyes, of course, always the solid veteran. Their import, Sumalenko, really had a good game in their 5-setter against Cherry Tigo. So makikita natin on that dynamics alone. And Fiona Ceballos had a great game last game. She was able to control that ball games against Cherry Tigo na they were able to go through the distance. On the other hand, Oli Okoro has been a beast, so to speak. Para sa Akari, ang magiging question lang, big shoes to play is Danny Ravena. Kasi with the way that Erica Santos has been playing, Ceballos, and all of the attackers ng PLDT, yun yung challenge eh. Kailangan mag-step up ng libero nila to control that backside. Kasi matangkad yung front line ng Akari. If you go through the names, you got Ivy Lacsina, you got Camille Cal na matangkad na setter. And si Victoria, that Camille Victoria that can play that interior. So malaking bagay yun. On the flip side naman, I like Creamline din pero gusto ko ito kontrahin, pero parehas tayo kasi ang ganda na nilaro ni Gumabaw and Ponce. And maalala po natin, mga ka-Sports Plus, itong Creamline is playing without their number 1 player in Eliza Valdez. Gemma Galanza is also injured. And on the men din, si Tots Carlos. So that's your top 3 scorers.
Gemma is with the national team.
Oh, yun. On lend sa national team. But those three ladies are out of the picture for this conference. So medyo mahirap yan. The offense, Gumabaw was really big in their game. Kasi si Gumabaw kasi pang big time games yan eh. So lumalabas yung laro
Saka
niya.
stack yung lineup.
Well, stack din yung lineup ng Signal eh. I mean, of course, says Molina is right there. Acuna played really well then on that game. But experience trumps it. Creamline, PLDT, but I'll go PLDT for championship. Ako gusto ko kasi PLDT man.
Sino yung ano mo?
So PLDT.
PLDT ako eh. PLDT Creamline din yung pick.
PLDT Creamline.
Kasi
Okay.
with Akari, magandang matchup for PLDT. Parang pabor sa kanila yung tapat na tapat ng tao.
Ako yung Akari parang OKC Thunder. They've made their presence felt, but
Come the playoffs.
laglag
But
sa
we'll see. Tsaka slow start sila. Their past few games. It's been a point of emphasis from their coaching staff that they need to really pick up.
Okay, so you both pick PLDT and Creamline. Who do you think will win the championship?
Ako PLDT ako eh. Ito alam ko mag-creamline to.
Ako Creamline.
Oh, kita mo? Ako PLDT ako dyan. But, yun naman po ay aming kuro-kuro lang. Alam namin marami yung mga Sports Plus natin na mas informed kesa sa atin. But ako, I just look at the metrics. I look at how they played the past few games. I did my scouting. So, for Signal to have that control, kailangan makagawa ng paraan si Jel Cayuna to maximize all the attackers. Kasi Kyle Negrito has been playing lights out and magkakampiyan sa FEU before. So,
Yeah, that's right.
tabayanan natin how that matchup is and well, gandang laban yun bukas. Saka swerte sila na move yung laro. Nakapagpahinga kasi yung dalawang teams na yan naglaro ng
Di ba naging issue pa nga yun eh?
Oo, nawalan daw ng kuryente.
Alright,
mas malaki yung venue. Kasi
Parang
pag naglalaro ang PBL,
Yeah, that's right.
punong-puno.
Parang si Gretchen Soltoles nag-tweet siya, di ba?
Wala akong Twitter. Hindi ako nagto-Twitter. Hindi ko alam yan.
I'm sure mga ka-Sports Plus, marami rin kayong comments about our PBL
Yeah.
semis picks. They both went with PLDT and Creamline. Let's now check out the comments that we've had for this episode.
Matchup lang kasi. Just tail of the tape. Pero syempre, lalaruin pa rin yan.
Our first comment coming from Power Map. Iba ang rain or shine, lahat palag, walang reklamo players, lahat may playing time. Well, this has been the continuing trend for any Coach Yeng Yao
Swift
coach
pa lang
team. Yeah.
Swift pa lang eh, di ba? Yoyoy Villamin, pa-retire na, nag-champion pa kay Coach Yeng. But again, it's the belief of the coach and the belief of the players, the buy-in. Kasi kahit sinong player, pag di naniniwala sa coach, hindi magiging contender. And Coach Yeng really has that in his players.
Yeah. So sa akin, same with Coach Martin. When you have Coach Yeng Yao as your coach, tapos you have the level of talent of the players from top to bottom, you're always gonna compete for a championship.
Well, what are your thoughts on their rookie, Felix Lemeti? He has been a revelation for them this
Go
season.
hard maglaro eh. Alam mo naman yung mga Pilipino, pag nakakita ng bagito na madiin maglaro, nagugulat eh. Kasi
parang
ang diin maglaro eh.
Hindi siya masyadong talked about going into the draft.
That's right.
Nakatago eh.
Kaya it surprised
marami
a lot
nagulat.
of
Yung laro niya parang nung dumating si Sol Mercado. Ang diin eh. Ang diin ang lakas ng arrive, tas nasa tamang
Hindi,
team
pero
siya.
Sol Mercado, you already saw him play.
Yun nga. Ito nga.
Hindi mo
effect
nakita
lang
eh. Biglang biglang nagulat yung mga tao na ganun pala yung laro.
Alright, let's move on to the next comment. By Rene Austria, sabi ng kaibigan ko sa Barberia, dapat daw meron din share na pera ang mga magulang just like sa mga coach.
Saan yan?
I'm
Din
sure
sa
you
mga
both will
incentives.
have so much to say about this.
Well, nasa...
Choice na lang, yung kung binigay sa athlete, choice na niya kung bibigyan niya. Pero
Yung mga iba nga, hindi binibigyan yung coach nila eh. Thank you na lang eh.
Medyo malalim yung pinagugutan mo dun ah.
Kasi, why would you get incentives for doing your job? You're getting your salary. You are paid to win as a coach. Simple lang yan. And as a parent, you shouldn't be paid to nurture your kid. And if your kid
That's
is
your
gifted,
job, right?
Oh, if somebody needs to get medals for doing their jobs, everybody would have a participation trophy. But elite athletes, they can get all the coaching, they can get all the nurturing, but if they don't have it in them, if they don't have that 0.1% of being elite, yung Mamba mentality na pinag-uusapan natin, kanila dapat lahat yan.
Saka typically, I don't think, choice na nito ng athlete eh. If they get, a lot of incentives, they earn a lot of money, it's their choice. I mean, it happens naman eh, di ba?
Dapat puntahan natin yung barbershop na yun.
Hindi, ginagawa naman
Rene,
Rene, message mo sa amin sa
ko sa
Wait,
barbershop.
gusto ko yan. Gusto ko yung mga kwentuhan ganyan.
Hindi naman sa, hinihingi tong... Hindi to ginagawa, pero ginagawa siya.
Oo.
Choice lang ng athlete. Di ba?
Kung gusto bigyan.
We've heard a lot of stories about this.
Oo. Binibilan ng bahay, binibigyan ng... Yung mga personal issues nila, hindi dapat din na nakaka-apekto sa performance nila yan. Yung mga iba nga, maraming personal trials and tribulations, pero dun sila mas magaling. So, compartmentalize nila yan.
Alright, let's move on to the next comment. Our next comment coming from John Zamora. Dino,
Di ako manalo.
Di ako papalag.
Coach Hammer.
Hindi pwede. Di pwede.
Well, di nyo ba papaanyayahan yung ating mga Sports Plus?
Baka to, matimbong ako masira yung image ko.
John, isa lang
Kilala mo ba yan?
Hindi ko siya kilala.
Kilala mo ba yan?
Hindi ko siya kilala. Okay, John, I only fight the battles that I can win.
Oh,
That's one of the biggest lessons.
Ako naman, walang nananalo sa mga battles. Give me some love.
Yeah.
Ano yun? Walang pumunta sa gera na nanalo. Di totoo yan. Lahat natatalo. Lahat namamatay.
So for you want to avoid all sorts of
no
war.
conflicts. Kaya ako,
No conflicts.
Doon na lang ako sa bahay. Babasa na lang.
Hindi, sa akin, willing ako lumaban basta worth fighting for.
Lahat ng...
Di ba yung pag-ibig?
Huwag ka na humabol.
Habi, pag-ibig.
Huwag ka na humabol sa mga bayani.
Teka, habi, pag-ibig, di ba? Pag worth it, pinaglalaban.
Sports Plus, we are sports show, so don't worry, yung mga sinasabi ni Dino, medyo malalim na talaga yung pinag-ugutan niya. Medyo he's had a long day.
Lahat ng bayani, namamatay.
Alright, let's go to the next comment. Tingnan natin from Maki Ramoy Makabagdal. Maganda if yung mga athletes can focus on sports lang. Wala nang ibang iisipin and the government should fund them better. Kaya kudos kila Coach Yeng Giao.
Yeah, dapat. Kasi kung magiging national athlete ka, kailangan yun yung magiging hanap buhay mo eh. Bread and butter mo pambuhay sa pamilya. Kung qualified national athlete ka, kailangan maging komportable ka with training, and at the same time, your sacrifices should be rewarded proportionally to the amount of effort that you're given. But again, parity is not realistic in real life, so you don't get what you deserve, only what you can negotiate for.
Dino, you've been on the management side in sports. I'm sure you have a lot of input about this.
Yeah, sa akin, yes, very important that you focus on your sports kasi if you don't perform,
Japorns.
hanggang Japorn ka lang, di ba?
Oh.
If you perform, dyan papasok yung sponsorships, yung incentives, yung promotion, any opportunities.
Oh, kita mo, nag-agree ka naman pala.
But sa akin, I guess one of the things that nakikita ko na ginagawa sa US is athletes building their brands. They see themselves as assets as well.
Dapat.
That they can build so that it attracts more opportunities for them. Not just how they are on the court, but also off the court.
That's first.
But the problem here in the
world
Philippines,
problems for you.
Yeah, but the problem here in the Philippines, people seem to think that by people thinking of themselves as assets, parang daw na-objectify sila.
Sa akin, hindi.
Kasama sa negosyo
Sila yung
yun
tinabang dun eh. Sa akin, hindi siya, kaya siya gawin dito eh. Kasi we've seen a lot of content creators na kilala natin, Javi, kilala natin Coach Martin, that, di ba, nabuo nila sarili nila from nowhere, but through their content, they've already have the following, daming opportunity. Sa akin, I think, magandang challenge for our athletes is being able to build their brands.
Simple lang yan. As the great Al Davis said, win, baby, win. Yun lang yan. Pag nananalo ka, darating yung suporta.
Alright, let's move on to the next comment. I do believe we have one more from Champion Online Shop. Simula ngayon, Dino, the philosopher Lina dapat ang itawag sa'yo. Dami mong baon, idol.
Ulitin ko ulit yung quote.
Okay, sabi ni Direk, next comment.
Ulitin ko lang.
Hindi pumapasok ng Philoan, mahilo sa'yo.
Ulitin ko lang yung quote. Sometimes
sige,
people
Direk,
don't
bigyan na
want to
natin si
hear
Dino.
the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed.
We're gonna have a reel about that. Make sure abangan nyo yun mamaya. Dino, post mo yan for sure. May isa pa ba tayong comment? Do we still have one last?
Bumanat ng...
One last comment? No, isn't that the last?
Wala na.
That's everything, and
Yep.
that's a wrap for SPNation on a Friday night. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Make sure you check out our website sportsplus.ph, and don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts, especially on Facebook and on TikTok. For Coach Hammer, Martin Antonio, for Dino, the Philosopher Lee. This has been Javi Palanya signing out on a Friday night. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Look at us, yeah, we winning. Look at us, just beginning. Give me my trophy. This is the first of many. Look at the W's. This is the first of many. Give me the trophy.
Celebration
This is
vibes.
the first of many.
All
Give me the
2021, baby.
trophy. This is the first of many.
I drop a song and it's moving. I got a song and I'm moving. I want confetti all over. I'm thanking God for the movement. Ooh. It's only fam in the room. I only stand for the truth. I got the keys, I'm in tune. I'm living life in the light and I'm never gonna stop it. I take them to school. God, he making it boom. God, he gave me the tools. I'm working.
Look at us, yeah, we winning. Look at us, just beginning. Give me my trophy. This is the first of many. Look at the W's. This is the first of many. Give me the trophy. This is the first of many. Give me the trophy. This is the first of many.
What else they want from us? We making history.
We are thrilled to have White Rambos as our new star player.
Victory really got my name on it. Blood, sweat, and tears, I left a stain on it. I'ma pass the torch before I blame, homie. Because victory really got my name on it. Victory really got my name on it. Blood, sweat, and tears, I left a stain on it. I'ma pass the torch before I blame.